Hello.
Okay. We still have no idea how to start these things.
Yeah.
We'll get better.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah,
It'll be a really sad
It's going to be really awkward. Yeah. And there should be theme music, but we could get copyrighted, so we're just not going to do that yet.
Yeah, no. We're like, the videos have to be uploaded separately on YouTube while we have the YouTube, only because we're not verified currently, and you can only upload 15-minute videos.
Oh, yeah, that's why there are two parts to the first one, because we couldn't upload it all in one video. Yeah,
so once we figure it out, or we're actually trying to get, like, what is it, verified?
No, yeah, we're going to try to get verified. That's just the
podcast.
Oh, the Apple Podcast.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to get on Apple Podcast, so.
Probably not, though, because we're
a little bit trash right
now. So bear with us, but we're trying. Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our friends and family for literally the overwhelming support.
Yeah, neither of us were expecting to, like...
not at all.
Have
we thought that...
Such positive feedback.
Right. We thought when we started this that people would be like, oh, that's
weird.
That's so weird. Yeah. But a lot of people have been reaching out and,
saying it's pretty cool.
Saying good things. So thank you to everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you to all. Okay, so I think we should start. We also don't have a name for our podcast yet.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
I feel like it should just be like Alyssa and Aurelie podcast, but I feel like that's kind of like
it's boring.
It is boring.
But
if anyone that listens to this has a better name, honestly, just like tell us.
Because we
need something.
We don't know.
Yeah. So if you're creative in that aspect, just tell us.
Hit us up. Yeah. Okay.
Also, another disclaimer. My story has a lot. My story today is like kind of a trigger warning, so I'm going to tell you it has a lot of talk about rape. It talks about it a lot, so if that's like a touchy subject for you, or like
please don't listen.
Yeah,
we don't want to
like make anyone uncomfortable.
Right, that's the last thing we want to do. So yeah, just don't listen if you don't want to hear that kind of stuff today. Yeah. But we will be doing that, the kind of disclaimer, trigger warning type thing, just so that we don't
make anyone uncomfortable.
Right.
My stomach just got really loud. I don't know. Did the mic just pick that?
I really hope not. Okay. Do you want to start, or do you want me
to just start?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So the one I'm doing I just moved my phone. Sorry if you heard that. The one I'm doing today is John Wayne Gacy, who is also known as the Killer Clown. Yes.
No.
I don't like clowns.
I don't like clowns either.
This took place in...
You should have done a trigger warning for clowns.
Yeah, so if you don't like clowns, don't listen to us either. This one took place in 1972. I keep saying too much. I need to stop doing that. No, I'm like focusing on it.
The whole thing is
He was an entertainer who played Pogo the Clown at children's parties. Honestly,
why were clowns at children's parties ever a thing? I don't think anyone ever thought they were entertaining.
No.
I've never walked into a party,
where's
function,
the clown?
been like, yo, where's the clown, guys? I love that clown. The guy with the red nose and the white face paint? Yeah, I love that guy.
The painted on smile, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. That really, really entertains me.
Yeah, so his name... when he was a normal clown, was Pogo the Clown, but as he started to kill, he got dubbed as the Killer Clown.
Love that.
So, I have a lot of background on him. So, he was born on March 17th in 1942 in Chicago, Illinois.
Illinois?
Isn't that the same thing?
You don't say the yes.
You don't? I have always said the yes.
That's really embarrassing.
I have always said the yes.
All right, well.
In Chicago, Illinois.
Now you know.
The more you know. He was the second of 3 children, and he was the only son born to John Stanley Gacy and Marion Robinson. From age 4, Gacy was verbally and physically abused by his alcoholic father.
Oh, no. Yeah. Isn't it always like that?
Yeah. I feel like that's a thing for killers.
Come on, guys. Be nice to your kids, otherwise they're going to end up being murderers.
A killer clown. Yeah. Despite the abuse, he admired his father constantly and sought his approval. So he was like one of those kids that was just like sad as hell and just wanted his dad to appreciate him, and his dad just didn't, which is really sad.
That is really sad. I feel for him, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you can feel for a murderer.
Yeah, no. That's the only pity, I guess. Is that that pity? Should I have used that word? Probably not. In return, his father would hurl insults at him, telling him he was stupid and acted like a girl. That's really sad.
Toxic masculinity, folks.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
When Gacy, but it gets worse, honestly.
Oh, great.
When Gacy was 7 years old, he was molested repeatedly by a friend of the family. Yeah. So not only was he abused, he was molested on top of that. So they were really just out here making a murderer. Like.
Oh, yeah. Don't sue us for saying that, but. Because, making a murderer is
it's a show.
Netflix special.
I'm giving credit to Netflix. Don't sue us.
Full credit to Netflix.
He never told his parents about it, though. He was fearing that his father would fault him and he would be severely punished. Yeah. So can you imagine that? Like, not being able to tell your parents something like that? That's really sad. And at age 11, Gacy was hospitalized for several months at a time after experiencing unexplained blackouts. His father decided Gacy was faking the blackouts because the doctors were unable to diagnose why it was happening. So I feel like this
I hate that guy.
Yeah, his dad's like a douche.
Yeah,
he is. Like,
sorry, but that guy's a douche.
Yeah, imagine your kid going through all this and you being like, "You're faking it.
You're a liar.
You're punished. Go to your room."
Oh God. Don't do that, guys.
Yeah, no. I would hope no one does that. 5 years after being in and out of the hospital, it was discovered that he had a blood clot in his brain, which was treated. So his dad was probably do it. His dad was probably like, damn, I punished my kid for having a blood clot in his brain. Yeah. Sorry, my throat was getting really dry.
Simultaneously.
So a few years. Oh, actually, hold on, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. But Gacy's delicate health issues failed to protect him from his drunken father's wrath. After received regular beatings for no particular reason other than his father disdained him. Yeah, I don't know if that was the right word.
It means he hated him.
I'm like, they're going to learn I'm very illiterate.
She's like dyslexic.
I am.
Not a little, a lot.
I'm very dyslexic. After years of abuse, you'll figure that out too, and I just it goes completely silent when I'm reading, and I'm just trying to figure out a word.
Silences, we love them.
Yeah. After years of abuse, Gacy taught himself not to cry. That's
that's so bad. That's so unhealthy.
That's a big red flag for murderers.
Please cry. It's good for you.
It is. I'm scared that I'm moving this cord and it's going to make a ton of noise. Where was I? I need to stop looking away because I'm losing my place. This was the only thing he consistently ever did that he knew would provoke his father's anger. Imagine getting sad and your dad being pissed. Mm-hmm. So a few years after that, Gacy worked for an ambulance service for a short time, but then was transferred to a mortuary. What is it? Mortuary? You can't move my phone. It's going to make a ton of noise.
Where's the word? I'm assuming you mean mortuary.
Probably. Yeah. Where he was employed as an attendant. On the last night, this is where it gets really gross. So,
I'm ready.
It's, really gross. On the last night that Gacy worked there, he got into a coffin and fondled the corpse of a teenage boy.
What?
Yeah.
Ew, that's like The Corpse Bride, but worse.
That's, awful. That's, disgusting.
That's so gross.
Why would you... Okay, he didn't... I feel like... Okay, so later in the story it says that that's when he discovered, that's what he,
what he liked. Oh,
but
man.
What provoked this man to be I'm going to get in this casket?
Honestly, you could never understand, the brain of someone who's sick like that. It's just... people like us...
Yeah.
Who don't have those kind of thoughts just cannot comprehend that kind of thing.
Yeah, but then later,
thank God.
It later says that he was confused and shocked at the realization that he had been sexually aroused by a male corpse, and he called his mother the following day without providing details and wanted to come home. So it was a few years later, and he had moved out and everything, and he came back home after all of that, and he just didn't tell his parents what happened. It was just hey, I'm back.
Surprise.
Yeah. So this is just the actual story now. I don't think there's any more background on him. Yep. So John Wayne Gacy was one of the most infamous serial killers in America. Over just 6 years beginning in 1972, Gacy tortured, raped, and murdered 33 young men. Yeah.
Huh.
But most of them are just teenagers. That's why they say young men.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always like young women.
It is. That's what I thought was pretty shocking when I read it. It was mostly men. Do you think he was just like, okay, wait, so never mind. Okay. Police tracked down Gacy while investigating the disappearance of a 15-year-old Robert Heist, and I don't know if I just butchered that, so sorry, in 1978.
Someone's gonna like email us, be like,
it's actually pronounced.
You pronounce this wrong, and that's my family member, and I'm really offended. Like, okay.
So sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so all of Gacy's known murders were committed inside of his Norwood Park ranch house. Okay, I can't imagine murdering someone in my house. Like,
can you imagine murdering someone outside of your house? Because if that's your situation, I'm a little nervous.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, like yeah, people. Okay, I'm not like justifying murder right now. I'm just saying, like, people murder people.
911. I have an emergency.
But like, no, just like imagine murdering someone and they're just like, you killed them in your house, like probably on your bedroom floor, and you're just like, I'm gonna go to bed.
What? Okay, I did not follow.
His victims were typically induced to his address or forced... Wait, sorry, I just messed up that entire sentence. His victims were typically induced to his address by force or deception, and all but one of his victims were murdered by either asphyxiation or strangulation with a makeshift tourniquet. His victims were stabbed to death. Yeah.
It's kind of...
Well, actually, sorry, I read that wrong too. His first victim was stabbed to death. The other ones were just like...
asphyxiated?
Yeah, or strangled. Oh, it's the same thing. I was just told.
Oh my god.
I feel like everyone just like...
They're like, wow.
Police... Okay, this also is a very creepy thing. So the police discovered a crawl space under his home, and 20 bodies of young men were found in there. One was in the garage, and 4 were found in a nearby Des Plaines River. So there were 20 bodies in his house. Imagine how bad that smelled. Or under his house, sorry. And then...
That's like some telltale heart stuff.
It's just like disgusting.
Like, ugh.
This man just like was killing people.
He was chilling
left
with
and right.
bodies under his house. Like, he did not care.
Do you think his house was haunted?
Oh, yeah.
And they were
you
like,
can't just
ghosts just like smacking them around at
night. You can't just have bodies under your house and expect your house to not get haunted. I mean, like, that's...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So in 1980, Gacy was sentenced to death in March for 12 of those killings. Not even all 33, just 12. Either way, he's getting put to death, but it was still for only 12. He spent 14 years on death row before he was executed by lethal injection at Stateville Correctional Center on May 10th, 1994. So how long did that
was
take?
Not long ago.
No.
If you think about it, like, that's not long ago at all.
It started in 1972, and he was put to death in 1994.
That is so long. Oh my god.
A crazy amount of time. That's insane.
That's why he had so many bodies under his house. I mean, the man had time.
How are wouldn't you think as a police officer to, like, check the house of the murderer first?
They didn't know he was the murderer.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I had for the John Wayne Gacy. There wasn't much.
That was a lot. I mean...
There was a lot of background. There wasn't much for the actual murder that I could find, but I think it explained it pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... That was... I honestly didn't know any of that, so... I learned something today.
Yeah, hopefully everyone else did. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very gruesome thing. No.
We love serial killers.
No, we don't. We love talking about them.
Okay, that's a better way to put it. Okay, so I did Karina Holmer. And this I feel like this is not well known at all. I didn't know about this before I looked it up. But I was just interested in more local murders like I did last time. Because I thought that was just cool to know happened nearby. Or is that a weird thing to want to know? I don't know.
Both.
So mine happened in Boston, Massachusetts, obviously.
Yeah.
So Karina was a 20-year-old au pair from Sweden. And I've been told that I don't need to define au pair. So if you don't know au pair, blame Alyssa.
Okay, if you don't know au pair, it's basically a nanny.
A foreign nanny.
Yeah.
Okay. So she had won $1,500 with a lottery ticket in Sweden and had decided to move to the U.S. using the money that she had won and got a job as an au pair, which is how she ended up here. So she was last seen on June 21st, 1996 at a nightclub called Zanzibar in Boston. She'd been out dancing with her friends and was reportedly really drunk, as you do in a club. Yeah. She lost her friends, so she decided to step out, and that's when she disappeared. And I just want to take this opportunity to say if you're a girl and you're out at a club with your friends and you lose them, don't go off by yourself, because that's when things like that happen. Bad. So even today, don't do that. It's just not safe. Ever. Yeah. Always stay with your friends. Even if you're drunk, just make sure you're with them, because anything could happen, obviously. So witnesses claim that she was last seen inside of a car. But others, and this is kind of funny, not to sound morbid, but this is kind of funny. Other witnesses claim that she was being serenaded by a homeless person right before she disappeared. Honestly, that's kind of hilarious. Yeah. She was being serenaded by a homeless person the moment before she disappeared.
So, for the part that they said they were in the car, was that a friend's car, or was it a stranger's
They don't know.
car?
The witnesses just said that she was in a car.
Okay.
And other witnesses claim that she had been talking to a, and I quote, nocturnal neighbor. Yeah.
What is a nocturnal neighbor?
I guess a neighbor that just is
there
only awake at night. So a vampire.
That comes to your house and is
what's up?
Midnight.
It's
what's
midnight.
up?
Time to party.
Right.
But that neighbor actually committed suicide shortly after her death. Yeah.
What?
Which is why it was, I guess, notable. So over time, 300 people were eventually interviewed for her death. Even her employer, who allowed her to stay in his studio apartment that he owned in South Boston on weekends. One man who had been investigated during the time of her murder actually pled guilty several years later to manslaughter and second-degree murder in two separate cases where the victims had been decapitated.
Wait. So he was just he just came out and said that?
Yeah, years later, just was hey, I murdered a bunch of people.
He didn't murder her, but he was just I murdered people.
It was found to be completely unrelated to her murder. What? It's crazy.
This man was just it was me, but it wasn't actually him.
Right. He was it was me, but it wasn't me. I did murder someone, but it wasn't her.
He just wanted to get it off his chest.
Yeah, just listen, I feel really guilty. Gotta tell you all that I did murder people, just not this girl.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that they were decapitated, because it just does tie in later, which is the craziest part is how she died, but I won't tell you yet. She'd also been dating a Boston police officer at the time that she was murdered. Yeah.
What?
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of the witnesses, though, all of them actually were cleared because none of them had any connection to her murder. So she was found that Sunday. So she went out on a Friday. And that Sunday, her body was found in a dumpster behind an apartment building by a homeless person.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The same one that was serenading
Maybe the same one that was serenading her. But the craziest thing is that it was only her top half. Only the top half of her body.
No.
Waist up.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Her autopsy showed that she'd been strangled and then sawed in half.
Oh,
yeah.
Sawed in half. Oh,
that's
my God.
Some Dexter stuff. If you guys know Dexter,
I couldn't imagine sawing a body.
You know how hard that has to be?
This man's arms must be... It was believable. His arms were jacked.
Billy just like casually, like he saw it through her like in 2 seconds. Right. His just huge arms. He was like, done. That was easy.
Billy could have just like
ripped her in half with his bare hands. Oh my god, this is messed up. But yeah, and her case was actually never solved.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they never figured out who did it.
Do you think they just stopped like looking, or they were just like, "This is"?
I don't know. They just said they just said the case went cold, and I read that the investigator, like head investigator in her case, like it still haunts him to this day that he doesn't know who killed her.
Yeah, because that man could still be out there.
Literally sawed a girl in half.
That's insane.
Casually.
That's insane. I couldn't imagine that. Can you imagine being the family and like the investigators just being like, "Yeah, we don't know."
You go like overseas to be an au pair and you get sawed in half. Don't leave your friends at the club.
Yeah, no. Always make sure you know where your friends are.
Always make sure you know where your friends are. I mean, you're not going to get... The chances are you're not going to get sawed in half, but...
I don't know. Today, it might... It's what...
It happened in 96. It could happen now. I mean...
That's insane.
I'm convinced it was Dexter. That's the kind of thing Dexter would do.
Billy.
Or Billy. Dexter or Billy, like, come clean, guys.
I am convinced that it could be someone else, but I'm not going to say who because... I could actually make it another episode.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're not going to talk about that yet.
Connection.
Yes. So, look out for that one.
Yeah, guys. That gives you a reason to
shameless self-promotion.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's terrifying.
It just, like, makes me think, you know, if her friends hadn't lost her or, you know, if she just hadn't been alone, she probably would have survived.
A lot of these murders make me, like, wonder if it was, like, aggravated or, like, it was someone she knew.
Premeditated. Yeah. That is the scary part. Like, you literally don't know until...
sometimes you might not know.
Right, you're dead.
Like that. That's insane. I
cannot. And the thing is, like, that was not long... 96 was only 20 years ago. Wow. That person could still be alive.
Yeah.
She was only 20 years old. She would have been 40.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So if the person who killed her had been close to her in age, they could very well still be alive and like still be young.
Yep, that is crazy.
Yeah,
and I don't even know how I would feel as a friend.
I know, like you lose your friend and all of a sudden she comes up dead.
Your foreign friend that's like not from around here.
I know. That definitely would weigh heavily on your conscience. I would assume.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it for today.
Yeah.
So, if anyone wants to come on the podcast and share a personal story or just wants to, you know, do their own, we definitely will do that. Just contact us.
We have our Instagram too. If you go on our YouTube,
it's in the bio.
Yeah, we'll link it.
It's linked in the bio. Just shoot us a message, shoot us an email, let us know, and we'll arrange that. I mean, I know we've already had a couple people reach out to us. Yeah. So we'll definitely be doing that soon, and that'll be really fun. That's not just us. You don't have to listen to just our voices.
And my illiterate self.
Yeah, Alyssa's dyslexic self.
Yeah.
But we don't just do murders. I mean, if you want to do anything like a conspiracy theory, I know someone mentioned an urban legend.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. We will definitely do that.
Anything that's like spooky, I guess. Like, not like... interesting.
She's making a hand motion, and if you saw her hand motion, you would understand. But yeah, just let us know, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace out.